Namaskar. There is no doubt in the world that the body and every part of it should have exercise. After accepting this advice, there is a high possibility of wrong things happening about that exercise. The first principle is that there should be no negative, excessive or false exercise of any action. Due to this, disease can develop in the body, and if it is done correctly, health is achieved as Ayurved has described in this book in the form of advice. Therefore, who should exercise, how much and when automatically acquire importance, since there is a high possibility of mistakes in this. We are discussing it today. If we talk about exercise, everyone should do it from childhood to old age. A process should be done in such a way that all the parts of the body get exercise. However, if all the parts of the body get exercise in the form of our daily life, then the question arises whether we should exercise in even greater quantity. One thing is true, however, that those who want to do some work based on that exercise must do that kind of exercise. For example, wrestlers. It is essential for them to do exercise. Without it, they will not be able to achieve success in wrestling, etc. Different type of players choose the right exercise for their sport, and they should do it. Along with this, even though it is said that everyone should do exercise, it is most important that no one should do exercise. It is better for sick people not to exercise. You may remember the system that was introduced in the hospital during the corona period, such as dancing and singing to do exercise. It is completely wrong from the point of view of Ayurveda. It is necessary to see an example in accordance with Indian philosophy. In it, some information is given about which exercise the king should do. So, the king is told to do exercise called Mrugaya. Mrugaya means hunting deer, and the king should hunt deer, so he gets exercise. Then why did the king give preference to this instead of other type of exercise? There are some reasons for this. While hunting deer, one has to chase it through the forest in a state where there is no path, in a high and narrow place. The exercise of running though such difficult places and process of the being in a position to shoot a bow and arrow while maintaining balance, especially taking accurate aim, and since the king is the ruler, his lack of compassion in such places are important. In order to succeed in the enemy or in the decided matter, the king cannot be merciful while ruling. Apart from this, in the midst of all the instability in war, the ability to focus his attention accurately is achieved. So, the king has to do exercise called Mrugaya according to his profession. To achieve this, at the same time, it is important to this regard. Therefore, the purpose behind it is that the exercise should be more beneficial to the duty that we have in our life, karma. Those who are in the hospital who want to purify the body are called panchakarma in the definition of Ayurveda, they should not exercise. The substances produced from food in the inner part of the body are transported to the microscopic cell of the outer part of the body. Among the reasons for which they are transported, the word exercise comes in the teaching of Ayurveda, and the waste product that are formed from these substances that has gone there in the measures that they have been mentioned while bringing it back to the body center. Control of vata means which over vata, that is, it is advised not to exercise for it. Therefore, it is most useful the sick people not to exercise in hospitals. Considering the above, nowadays many type of exercise schools have been created and different type of exercises are done and done through them, and a fee is also charged for it. These types of exercise are done in gym. In them, it is planned that everyone should do the same exercise, increase it regardless of their profession or what they can do. However, there is no measurement as to how much it should be, and therefore, the advice in how much exercise someone should do in definitely laid down in Ayurveda. I think advice given by Ayurveda about how much exercise one should do is important, because every person is different, their age is different and their work is different, then the same type of exercise is not beneficial for everyone. You must have noticed this. Therefore, as per the teaching of Ayurveda, one should exercise up to the half of one's body's strength. Then the question arises how to measure this half of the one's strength, and everyone's half of the one's strength is different. Whether it is due to age, youth, old age, illness or a specific condition, and the measure of measuring it has not been fixed in modern times. Ayurveda has fixed this measure for each of them. For this, two conclusions have been given. So, whoever the person is, if during exercise sweat starts on the forehead, or instead of breathing through the nose, it comes time to breathe through the mouth, then it has been interrupted, that half of the person strength has ended. And its application is that when half of the one's strength ends, the exercise should be stopped at that time. Otherwise, the possibility of many types of diseases increases due to the vata prakop that occurs. For example, if a person is a porter and he is sweating on the forehead, has to breathe through the mouth, and if such condition persists and continues, then due to the end of his half of one's strength, there is a possibility of many type of diseases his next life. It is certain that the since incident occurs in business in the disease called Rajekshma, which is like tuberculosis, exercise is said to be a major cause. Of course, if exercise is excessive, all these symptoms are caused by this exercise. After our half power is exhausted, that exercise should be stopped, or while doing our duty, the exercise that atomically occurs should also be stopped after the half power is exhausted. We should take rest, then it will remain the same state, otherwise it will not remain. If the possible to exercise to some extent during illness, that person's half power will end soon. If someone who is having a fever thinks of exercising, there is a possibility that his half power will end immediately. The half power of an old person will end soon. The half power of a young person may be different. Therefore, you must have noticed that everyone needs to do their exercise according to their half power in accordance with the half power. In the next part, we will learn about when to exercise and what our diet should be at that time. Thank you very much.